Today I want to talk to those of you that are in ministry and tell you that ministry can be quite expensive. Welcome to CITAM ChurchOnline. My name is Karita Mbagara, the Deputy Bishop of Christ is the Answer Ministries. In the book of Matthew chapter 14, that's where John the Baptist was killed. And we are told that the disciples of John picked his body and they went and buried him. And then they came and told Jesus about it. And we read from verse 13 of chapter 14, when Jesus heard what had happened, he withdrew by boat privately to a solitary place. Hearing of this, the crowds followed him on foot from the towns. When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them and healed their sick. This tells us that Jesus was affected by the death of his cousin. John was his cousin, and his cousin had been killed. And Jesus decides to take a retreat, just a time to reflect perhaps, and to pray, and to recollect his mind. But the people that were followers of Jesus did not necessarily give him space. What we find is that the people still gathered because they realized that Jesus had something to give them. And they came to him in that solitary place where he had gone. The first cost that I see here is the cost of loss of privacy. Jesus had no privacy. Even in a time of sorrow, people are still coming to him, seeking help. And that very often happens to those that are called in the ministry of God. Your privacy is in a way affected. When you read the chapter towards the end, you will find that Jesus not only had compassion and healed these people, but he spoke to them until evening. Ministry engaged him all the way to the evening. And in the evening, his disciples came to him and told him, send these people away. Let them go to the town so that they can buy food for them. And what we find here is that the disciples are concerned about the people. They observed the need and they told Jesus, as if Jesus did not, know about the need for the people to be fed. And their way of sorting out the issue was to tell the needy to go and find food for themselves. But because of compassion, we find that Jesus told the disciples to actually feed the people. And they said, how can we feed them? We have only 5 loaves and we have 2 fish. How can this multitude be fed from this? And this is where Jesus performed a miracle by seeking God, and God answered. This also to point out that Jesus is praying for others, for the needs of others, supplying for the needs of others, when his own need is not necessarily being addressed by the people. And he sets an example for us that when we are called to ministry, there will be those occasions when we will be meeting the needs of others, not because all our needs have been met, not because we ourselves have been comforted, but because that's what it calls us to do when we have been invited to walk with Jesus. And I just want to encourage you, my brother, my sister, who is in ministry, and you have a particular need, and you have got to a place where you feel you need to retreat, to be alone, you need to be taken care of, but instead, people are coming to you seeking to be supported, seeking to be helped, seeking to be prayed for. Do not complain, do not grumble. Take the needs of these people to the Lord, and the Lord will perform a miracle, meet their needs, even as you continue with the journey of the calling that you have received from God. Learn from Jesus and make it your business to turn concern to compassion. Do not be like the disciples who were merely concerned and wanted to get rid of the need in an orthodox manner, but be like Jesus, who, beyond concern, was compassionate, and despite his need and sorrow that he was experiencing, he is supplying to the needs of others. This is what God has called you and I to be part of. And let us be faithful and be found to be serving at all times when that is called for. God bless you as you think about this. And if it's a blessing to you, please share it with your friends. Have a blessed time until we meet again.